Yes, welcome. It's time. The Undrafted's 2021 NBA preview.
We are back.
We're back on air. Sol, I'm here with Mo. What's going on, man?
What's happening, bro? It's good to be back. It's good to be talking NBA again.
Under a week to go. It's funny. The other day, they put a post, the Lakers, 1 year since we won the title, but that feels like 3 years ago.
Oh, bro.
What the hell,
man? When you think about it in the grand scheme of things, you got the Bucks won a title, Lakers won a title, and now we're starting the season in like a week. It's crazy.
That's so.
It was like 3 seasons in 1 year.
Big season coming up. So many,
for sure.
So many storylines going in, big changes to many teams. We're going to discuss all that. Let's focus first on the big issues going into the season. I think the biggest issue all summer has been Ben Simmons and the Philadelphia 76ers. This is still going on from when all, crumbled in Game 7 against Atlanta in the Eastern Conference semis till now. Ben Simmons is still a 76er. I can't believe it.
I don't understand. This whole Ben Simmons situation is like watching Home Alone, and Ben Simmons just got lost and started to rock up home now all of a sudden. It's like, yeah, welcome back. I don't know what he's expecting, like just rocking up at the Sixers door now. So
yeah, it's like random, yeah. Like he just went and did a COVID test without telling them. They found out.
He took that first pay cut, that first paycheck. He's like, nah, man, I'm not.
Bro, I can't do this every week, bro. That hit him hard, man. They hit him hard.
Man, I mean, at the end of the day, you're still contracted, and eventually you'll get the move, but you still got to play it out. You got to be a professional, man.
Yeah, but how do you bring that trust back and, I guess that team spirit back together? Because he is offside of everyone there. They all
for
threw
me,
him under
that's
the
long
bus.
time. I actually don't think they'll play him.
Far.
They'll probably either try to move him before the season starts, or I don't think they'll play him, man. I think Philadelphia is a good enough team to kind of handle its own without him for the time being. And then until they find the right move, probably make the move then.
When they lost against Atlanta in the press conference, Doc Rivers literally said, I don't know if he's going to be part of our plans or some shit like that. In the press conference right after the game, Joel Embiid full blamed him. And look, I'm not saying he didn't deserve blame, right? But
he was definitely scapegoated.
Yeah, like at the time, I was like, bro, this guy, like, what the hell is he doing? Like,
I'm not even the biggest Ben Simmons fan, man. Like, you know me. I don't think he's dedicated. I don't think he puts enough effort in. But to put that whole series on him is a bit far-fetched when Philadelphia had so many chances to win that series and they just couldn't close out the games. To put it on Ben Simmons, he's not a scorer. No. Everyone knows he hasn't shot jump shots. Like, all of a sudden, they lose a playoff series and you expected him to today. He's been doing it all season. But like, why are you shocked? That's how I see it. Like, why are you shocked that he didn't step up in that moment? He's been like that all year.
And from that point, he literally ignored everyone. You're hearing stories, of him requesting trades to LA, to a big market, LA, New York, wherever. He's, full said he's not coming back. He turned around a private plane that had Doc Rivers, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, told him, I don't want to talk to you. The thing is, it's hard to make a trade for Ben Simmons because you're not going to get value because his stock drops so low.
You're not going to get value, but at the same time, I think Philadelphia thinks he has too much value. Like, they're over-evaluating him right now. He's a great defender, probably one of the best defenders in the league. He's a great passer of the ball. We know that. Obviously not a great scorer. You can still pick up some really good pieces without having to get a large haul back for him. Like, I think Philadelphia's expecting a bit too much, and that's why they're struggling to move him.
The whole organization's done a 180. They're like, oh, no, we're part of our plans. We can't wait to welcome him back. It's all bullshit.
It's obviously bullcrap, yeah.
Come on,
it's done. Like, that whole Simmons thing, it's done. Like, he's going to get shipped somewhere. I'd be really surprised if there's a U-turn from what's just happened over the summer.
What is a fair trade for Ben Simmons, but what would Philadelphia... Because Ben Simmons is a talent, like, regardless, like, in the situation he's in, I don't know... I don't think he wants to handle or face the music, from the fans because, they've been chanting in wrestling arenas. They've been chanting in like other sports, F Ben Simmons all game. They're done with him. How's he going to handle that?
I don't think he's going to handle it because I don't think he's going to play.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going
But if he does play, how does he handle it? Like, he can't, no way.
He's a bit spoiled in a way. Like, now, people are asking, for him to put in the work and just doesn't want to put in the work, basically. Like, that's what it is. We all see videos of him during the offseason shooting threes. It's like now, integrate that into the real game now. And he just won't do it. And now, exactly if the fans are going to be against him, it's not going to get any better, I think. Doesn't have that mentality. He doesn't have that killer mentality.
I feel like if you got him out of that environment in Philly,
I think he could still thrive and be.
No, he would thrive again. 100%.
I think he'd thrive again. I think Houston would be a great fit for him. I think even Golden State would be an amazing fit. That's like my two places for him. If you go to Golden State, you're in a win now situation. Or if you go to Houston, you can kind of be the main guy again.
But do they have the pieces that match,
Well,
his value? I know his value stock's down, but like Philly's not going to accept a shit offer, and I don't know what they've got to
Philly's not going to
offer.
accept it. It depends what offer they want. Like, you can either go down, do you want a large set of picks, or do you want, hey, let's say Philadelphia swap Simmons for Draymond Green and a couple of their new rookies they drafted and a pick or so? I mean, would you not do it if you're the Sixers? If you got offered Draymond Green, you got a guy that's championship experience, killer mentality, defensive anchor, great defender, can play make. I think that's a trade you'd have to consider, right?
Yeah, I'd rather see him get traded for Dame.
It's just not happening, isn't it? That's where, if I'm Portland, I don't think Simmons is enough.
No, it's Simmons and another player and a lot of picks. But I'm saying, like,
But
that's the situation he'd want to be in.
The thing, if you've noticed Philadelphia, I feel like it's the other way around, where they think they should be getting Dame and a lot of picks back. Like,
yes, that's right.
That's how Philadelphia's mentality is at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe Simmons for D'Angelo Russell kind of gives them that point guard play that they lack at the moment. Something like that. That could be a possibility.
What about the coach? I haven't heard enough blame on Doc Rivers because obviously he's loved. He won a title 15 years ago. That people
Doc Rivers has been riding that title's coattail for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
On the title he should have won, by the way. He had one of the best big threes in basketball, and he delivered one title at the end of the day. Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and he had Rondo.
And then he had that Clippers run with CP3, Blake Griffin, DeAndre, couldn't get that done. Then they gave him Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, choked that. And then he choked again when he went to Philly. Like, surely his coaching comes under question. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he's trying to play it safe. Like, I reckon Simmons has been told don't shoot. I reckon they've taken the confidence away from him.
Oh, 100%. It definitely comes down to coaching. If your coach tells you, hey, go out and shoot 10 to 15 jump shots in a game and, don't even stress if you miss, you think that player's not going to have the confidence to shoot it?
No doubt.
If he gave Simmons the green light, hey, no consequences, go shoot it. If Simmons had Russell Westbrook mentality, shooting 25% from the field on some days, but go out there next game and do the same thing, doesn't care if miss or make. I think it comes down to both Simmons and coaching. Like, Westbrook doesn't give a shit. Westbrook's going to go out there and jack up 15 shots, and he'll go 0 for 15, and he'll come back the next night and shoot 0 for 15 again. Doesn't care.
Because Ben Simmons, the way he is, his demeanor, it doesn't seem like Westbrook. It's not the same. It's like, I don't think he demands, like, he's not going to challenge back. You want me to just pass? I'll just pass. You want me to just, drive in? I'll just drive in.
It all comes down to his demeanor and his mentality at the end of the day. Like,
but it's so weird.
I don't think he's a vocal guy. Like,
yeah, it's so weird, because he's so committed on defense. He's such a good defender. Like, it doesn't match up to me, man.
He's a great defender because he's so agile and quick for his size, and his lateral quickness is great. Again, yeah, you're right. It doesn't add up. He's a great defender, but has he hit his ceiling now? You question. I mean, look, we did question Giannis the same thing a couple of years ago and said, has this guy hit his ceiling? Now, I'm not comparing them to, because Giannis is on a different planet, but Giannis has come back and shown us, man, you don't know what my ceiling is. My ceiling is still untapped right now. Like, imagine Giannis shooting 40% from three this season, for example. Who's guarding that? No one's guarding that. If Simmons came and showed us he had a jump shot, then what's Simmons' potential? It's untapped. You don't know what it can become. And
the thing with Giannis is that organization made a decision. He's going to be our guy. It wasn't necessarily their guy from the start, right?
100%. He was drafted late in the first.
Yeah,
so.
He was drafted late, but in the end, they're like, this kid's there's something in this kid. Let's build the team around him and let's go for it. Let's just back him. Let him make mistakes.
Giannis, from a young age, he had that demeanor about him, right? He had that I can be the best player kind of attitude about him, which Simmons is
but it
helps. See it, man.
But it helps when your organization and your coach says
when they
backs you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's different. When they back you,
100%.
That gives you confidence in yourself. Joel Embiid comes out and says, "Oh, we moved pieces away. We got rid of certain players to build the team around him." Bro, the team's built around you. What are you talking about?
At the end of the day, Joel Embiid was the one who was the MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Who would have won MVP if he didn't get injured. The team is built around you, Joel, at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You were injured for one whole season at one point. They stuck by you because you're an excellent talent. But do not say the team is built around Simmons. I think Simmons is a good piece around you. But at the end of the day, you're the guy that's going to take him to a championship. If Philadelphia wins a championship, you're the finals MVP. That's how I see it.
Well, and he's got that alpha mentality. He's got that, aggressive mentality.
Yeah, he's got that mentality. But you don't want two guys with that mentality.
But do you think he would defer to Ben? No, he'd be jealous.
No one's going to defer to Ben.
It's an ego thing, man.
Yeah, it is. I think Ben wants to be that guy, but just hasn't shown enough to be that guy.
But again, it goes back to the organization and the coaches. Who they back in to be their guy? It's Joel Embiid at the end of the day. And it's hard for Ben Simmons to inject himself and take over a game, do a 40-point game like Giannis every single week because you got that other guy with you. Now, if you could work together with him, they're unstoppable.
Look, Simmons has the potential to average 20 a game comfortably. He's got that potential.
Yeah.
But now it's like translating it into the game because you know what? You didn't have to have a jump shot to still average 20 points a game. Like he's got the skill set to do so. Like he's got the quickness. He can beat guys off the dribble. Like he's got that play. It's just it comes down to his mentality and his work ethic, man, at the end of the day.
Look at Giannis. He scored 40 points in that game 7 against Brooklyn, driving, dunking, the free throws. You know, he didn't do anything special. He just kept pushing himself.
It's just, different level play.
So you got two guys that don't work together, but yet they want to keep him, I guess, obviously for a trade purpose. There's no doubt they should have been in the finals at least once in the last 3 years. You know, Toronto...
They should have been in the finals last year, easy.
Yeah, in 21, there's no doubt. But Toronto got lucky, and that's a missed opportunity. 20, I don't know what happened in the bubble. The hell happened? I can't remember. Do you remember?
They got knocked out first round. I can't even remember.
So they weren't even invested.
They got swept to the Celtics.
Yeah, there you go. And then there was no excuse in 2021. The way the East ended up being, they should have made in the finals, bro.
Oh, they should have won the NBA. Like they should have won this.
They should have won. Yeah, you're right. Should have won. Moving on, another big issue going into the season: Kyrie Irving and the Vax. That's become the biggest story in the last week. The Nets management announced that he's not allowed to participate with them until he abides by the New York State guidelines. Yeah. You have to be double vaxxed. Apparently, it was co-signed by the whole team, which is very weird. There were rumors about trading him, about Kevin Durant blocking that request, which is weird.
And there was rumors that he was going to retire if he gets traded.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of crap.
Man, it's hard, but I feel for him at the same time. All right, he doesn't want to get jabbed, whatever. And at the end of the day, he's taking his punishment, right? His punishment is you're not allowed to play. It is what it is. Like, I'm not going to question someone for saying, hey, I'm not comfortable having something injected in me, right? That's normal. He's got tattoos injected in him, so, like, that's another story. But, like,
is it the right call? Is it the right call by the Nets to ban him?
Look, I think it's the right call because he would only be allowed to play away games, right?
Yeah.
Team chemistry-wise, it's just going to be all over the place. And then if that remains and then you're in the playoffs, then, you know, and then he has to miss home games at the playoffs, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, as a team, right? I think it's the right call at the end of the day. Whether that changes throughout the season, whether he gets vaccinated or whether he doesn't, we're going to have to wait to find out.
It's weird. Other sports in America, they don't mandate it. Like, for instance, NFL don't mandate it. There's vaxxed and unvaxxed playing right now at the moment. So that hasn't been an issue that has come up in NFL because, you know,
I mean, it would be a big issue if they did mandate
massive issue. But I guess as well, the difference is they play outside. So I guess the risk is lower than playing indoors. So I guess that's the big difference for them with the NBA.
Surely there could have been an agreement put in place where this guy has to get tested every day, mask at all times. You know, like, surely there could have been some sort of agreement made, like, with him in the NBA, right? I mean, players last season weren't vaccinated and were playing. I'm assuming a lot of them weren't vaccinated and they were still playing.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, there were a few cases, but there weren't.
Yeah, there were cases through the season, you're right.
Yeah, Dennis Schroeder, there was a few cases, right? And I still think there'll be cases this season too. Like,
yeah, even if, that's the thing. Like, if everyone is vaxxed, what if a case happens?
You can still get COVID. Yeah, like, I guess the risk is lesser from what they say. I'm sure that is the case, but
the severity of it, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I get it, but surely they could have come to some sort of agreement with the NBA. Like, unless there was an agreement in place and he didn't want it, then that's a different story of its own.
It's weird because, like, Kevin Durant said apparently no, they wanted to trade him. Like, we're talking about Ben Simmons. That was an option.
That's fair, right? That was an option, but why would Philadelphia trade for him?
Maybe the state, because again, I'm saying the NBA has put that mandate, but also the state has put that mandate. It's trying to go at two different, entities. Like, so it's pretty hard. Maybe they're relaxed in Philly. Maybe they're relaxed in LA. I'm not too sure.
Even in LA, I think Pelinka said that they weren't gonna let anyone play if they weren't vaccinated. That's why LeBron got vaccinated recently, from what I've read, what I've heard. He's untouchable from the Brooklyn's point of view, and he's untouchable from other teams' point of view. Like, who wants him? Like, no one's going to want him. It's a shame because the guy's at his peak of his career. He's probably one of the best players in the game. We were talking about this guy a few years ago on, like, Steph Curry's level, and now the last couple of years have just tarnished him a bit. Yeah,
like, I mean, ever since he left the Cavs, it just hasn't worked out for him wherever he's gone.
It hasn't worked out for him, but the guy is still it's not like it hasn't worked out from a standpoint that he hasn't been playing well. The guy's been playing well. It's just
there was drama. There's always drama, bro.
drama that follows him. I don't know if he brings the drama. Some say it's all him. In this situation, I don't necessarily think it's all him. Like, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. If that's his choice, that's his choice. He's paying he's suffering the consequences for it, and that's it. At the end of the day, like, just gonna have to wait and see what happens, how it plays out.
Yeah. So what's the end game? You reckon he'll end up getting vaxxed, or you reckon he's gonna back his
I think
guns
eventually he'll get vaxxed. I think he'll come to his senses a bit and just take it.
So I don't think he will. I think he'll stick to his guns, bro.
At the same time, I can't agree with you, because it kind of, if he does get vaccinated, right, he's going to come out and look weak, right? Like, oh, I just got vaxxed to play, right? When people are going to be like, oh, you're just getting vaccinated for the money, basically. Like, whatever he does, he's going to get scrutinized. Put it that way.
True. That's true. Well, I don't know, man. Look, if he does play, it makes a big difference.
If he does play, I say Brooklyn wins the title.
Easily.
If he doesn't play, I say it's open for anyone to win.
It's up for grabs,
I say the Lakers win, but that's, yeah.
And look, we're Lakers fans. We're realistic, bro. Like, the Nets are the best team.
I think the Nets, they have the most firepower, man. You've got three guys that can score from anywhere on the court, something the Lakers don't have. You've got KD that can pull up from 30. You've got Harden that can pull up from 30. Harden can go ISO. KD can go ISO. Kyrie can play ISO. Like, if KD shoots 0 for 50 one night, you'd still think the Nets could win because they've got so much talent around them. All
right, moving on quickly to Zion and the Pelicans. I think they've just sabotaged whatever they were trying to build there around him. And I think it's going to come at a cost, because I think the first chance he gets to get out of New Orleans, he's getting the hell out of there, bro.
He's gone.
He's gone.
I think he's gone right now. Mentally, he's gone. I don't think it's his fault as well. I mean, that franchise has just made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. First mistake, I think, was not trading Anthony Davis earlier than what they did. Waited too long to trade him. Lakers offered him everything at that point, and he pretty much took the same offer anyway. Second mistake, hiring who they hired, Van Gundy.
Yeah.
That was a terrible mistake with the coaches they had available at the time. And then recently, third mistake, what have you done in the offseason to make your team better? You lost Lonzo Ball for what reason? The guy got paid, 4 years, 80 mil?
That's it.
I think he's worth 4 years, 80 mil with this current market. How is he not worth that much? You got a guy that can play defense, and is drastically improved his shooting. Why are you not paying the money? Like, he's a perfect fit for someone around Zion and Brandon Ingram. It doesn't make sense. If you've got a point guard that isn't going to be shooting 20, 25 shots a game, that's the perfect fit for a team that has Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram in their team, who are both great scorers in this league.
They've gone down like a cheap route. Like, they've just gone down to a cut price where you get Devontae Graham, you get Satoransky, Garrett Temple, Valanciunas.
They're just going to be a nothing team again. They're not going to be a good team.
These are not big moves. You got a franchise-changing player in your team they're trying to keep happy, and you take one of his weapons away.
I think with Zion, right, and you have people that are coming and calling out Zion like it's his fault, right, or like he's put on weight. You know, people want to scrutinize his body and everything, but the guy averaged about 28 points last season. In his second season, right? 28 points, over 50% shooting. I don't know how many rebounds. The guy was dominant.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's got to improve defensively, but let's not take that away from him. Like, the guy averaged 28 under the radar. Like, no one mentioned it. Like, it was just under the radar because his team wasn't successful at the end of the day.
That's it. And what's there to look forward to?
I love Brandon Ingram, but, like, again, he's probably going to average another 25 points for the third season in a row. Team around him isn't great, and the coaching is terrible.
And you look at how hard the West is. I already say 10 teams that they can't overtake.
Oh, easy. Yeah. Who are they going to overtake?
I don't know. No one. The Kings, maybe the Kings, maybe the Thunder, Houston. I
even think the Kings got better, man.
Do you think he'll stay at the Pelicans?
I think it's always been a match made in heaven. New York. That's definitely the plan. I think for Zion anyway. I think if they do trade him, what are you going to get back? Yeah, therell be a lot of offers for him, but are you going to get equal value? Because I don't think you are.
Well, who's going to trade for him if his intention is to go to New York? You know, if that's the plan.
For example, per se, let's say there was offers on the market, right? Obviously, there'd be plenty of suitors for Zion. There'd be plenty of people that want him. Let's say Boston, for example. Who is Boston going to trade? Jaylen Brown? You get Jaylen Brown back, you're still in the same situation. Do you get better as a team? No. You get a couple of picks back with Jaylen Brown? Yeah, you probably do. And then what? Your team is not improving, and it's just going to be the same cycle again. They might get a top 5 pick and, again, do nothing with it. You had Anthony Davis, top 5 player in the league. I don't care what anyone says. When Anthony Davis is on, he's top 5 player in the league. And
easily. You
built nothing around him. You could barely give him a point guard to run plays around him. You gave him Rondo for that one season where they did really well.
Yeah, and you're saying the same story as Zion. They don't know how to build around him.
They don't know how to build. It's just, it comes down to who they hire, the guy from Cleveland, what's his name?
David Griffin.
And then, they made him out like he was some savior. He made the Lakers trade, and they're like, oh, look all these players he got back. He
literally gave us a title.
They said they won the trade. They said the Pelicans won the trade.
Won the title. How do you win the trade if the team?
How do you win the trade if you
him?
win the title? Because the Pelicans aren't going to win the title for the next 10 years. Anthony Davis will retire in 10 years. What is the Pelicans going to be doing?
Unless they pull an unbelievable trade for, like, who's going to go New Orleans? You know what I mean?
No
one is going to go.
New Orleans is going to turn into the franchise is just going to move to Mexico, bro, and get a new start. That's what I think is going to end up happening. Honestly, man, and they've been talking about it for a while. I think they'll end up in Mexico.
I don't know. I think, I'm with you. I don't think he's going to stay.
He deserves to be on the big stage, right? He deserves to be on national television like every night, man.
Who the hell wants to stay at a team and get blamed every week when it's not your fault? They don't know how to build around you. Like, that's no wonder Davis.
I think it's the Pelicans throwing these stories around. They take a couple of photos of Zion, post them out in the media. Look how fat he is, and then they deflect them blame to him.
Well, that doesn't help their trade, bro. They're so stupid. They're supposed to be building this guy up so you can get someone good for him, you know?
Look, I think Zion, weight-wise, will figure it out, man. Like, the guy's, 21, 20? He's still growing, man.
He's a baby, bro.
He'll figure it out, man. He'll get the right guidance, man.
Let's start looking at the teams coming up in the season. Let's look at the Western Conference first. I don't think there's a shadow of a doubt between us. Who we think the top team coming out of the West is?
It's all going to come down to health. If Lakers manage it well health-wise.
But everyone's healthy?
Everyone's healthy.
The Lakers.
Say the Lakers win.
The Lakers.
However, after what the Clippers did last season without Kawhi, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was.
If they can figure it out a bit better this season, but at the same time, in saying that, they got rid of Patrick Beverley, who I thought was one of their better players in the postseason.
That was a weird trade, bro.
That trade didn't make sense. You got a guy. I don't like Beverley. You don't like Beverley.
No.
All other 29 teams don't like Beverley besides Clippers fans.
But if it was in your team,
he's in your team. You love him. Like that's the type of player he is, and they're the best type of players to have in your team.
Yep.
To get rid of him with the intensity he brings, I think that was a move where I questioned that a bit. I still think there would be a threat if they can make the right trades during the season. Another team that for me will be a threat, definitely, is the Golden State Warriors.
They've gone missing for a few years.
They've gone missing, however. You got Draymond now back. Obviously, they're all healthy now. Hopefully, Klay Thompson comes back. He's been out for 2 years now. So, if Klay Thompson gives you 50% of what he used to give you, like, they're a threat.
Easily.
But the reason they are a threat is because they have so many pieces to trade that if any star throughout the season becomes unhappy, the Golden State Warriors will be there. Like, they'll be watching. Like, if Zion becomes unhappy, hey, the Golden State have Wiseman. They have their 2 rookies that came out this season that are, I think, top 10 rookies.
They're happy to trade them.
They'll be happy to throw 6, 7 picks if they get Zion. Imagine that. Imagine you got Curry, Klay, and Zion in one team.
It's not fair, right?
Look, I'm just throwing that out there, but what I'm saying is the Warriors have the potential to kind of trade and make that massive leap throughout the year.
They've been a forgotten team because of the run they had and the injuries. Yeah, everyone forgets they have not been healthy. If they're healthy, bro, they're easily top 4 team in the West.
Look, man, Kyrie did amazing just to kind of get him even into the play-in.
Yeah.
That team around him wasn't that great, but this year I think they have a lot of good pieces. Otto Porter is a very solid piece. I kind of like him. What they do like, though, is size at the moment. Yeah. They got bullied on the boards in the preseason, so I think that's something they'll address. But
I think Wiseman 1 year in,
Wiseman gives them that, you know.
He's 1 year wiser, you know what I mean? Like, he gets a bit more experience. He gets in. He's going to be a bit more tougher than.
Look, man, playing beside Draymond Green, man. A lot of people don't like Draymond, but he's like a good leader, and he's like a good. I think he'd be a good mentor, man. Yeah,
100%. I think another threat in the West for the Lakers is the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah. I think Luka Doncic. We're talking about it off air, bro. He's very special, bro. He's a special player, cuz, and he's got the potential to be the best player in the league.
He's the type of player that could take you down on his own. Like, he's that good. But again, I just don't think they've built enough around him to kind of get him over the hump just yet.
The big issue is Porzingis, that's the whole thing. Like, you just need a good running mate with Luka, and they'll do some big things.
This whole Porzingis thing, right? It kind of reminds me of the Ben Simmons thing, right? When you brought up coaching. I think the way Porzingis was coached really, like, didn't put him in any kind of position to succeed. It was more like he was a floor spacer at the end of the day. It was kind of like Luka is very ball dominant, right? And it comes to the point where he's a bit too ball dominant, and he's an amazing player, but he does hold the ball for like long periods of the game. So I think it comes down to a bit of Luka coaching and to kind of figure out how to get the best of Porzingis. Like, we were talking about this guy like at one point as the next Dirk Nowitzki, right? When he first started to shine in New York, right? Yeah. He's definitely got talent. He's 7 foot, massive wingspan. He's quick, you know, for his size. He can shoot lights out. Yeah, he's a bit weak, but he could definitely average 20 points a game if this season, possibly, if he's coached correctly.
Well, they made the changes, didn't they? Rick Carlisle been there for a long time. They finally got rid of him. And they got Jason Kidd in, who's been the assistant coach at the Lakers. He's obviously a really good coach. He's got another crack at it. I think he's going to be better for the run. I think he knows what he's got there. You know what I mean? He's played for that
100%.
team. He won a title with
100%.
that team. It's different. You know, Rick Carlisle been there for a long time, probably got sick of his voice. A lot of people in the organization got sick of him. If Luka just keeps producing, no matter what, I think he can get Porzingis on side. But as long as there's a plan, and if there is a plan, and you know they are working together, Porzingis can be a really good wingman to Doncic this season.
I definitely agree. Yeah, it came to a time, Dallas. They're overdue, I think, with the coaching a bit. Kind of needed a bit of a fresh start. So I think it was the right move. And yeah, in terms of Porzingis, look, I think he is a good second guy to Luka, but it's keeping him healthy. It's running plays for him. It's giving him opportunities to kind of, be that second guy at the same time as well. Like Luka, I think is going to have to come to a point where he kind of reminds me of a bit of a 2007, 2008 Kobe Bryant, when he's trying to just take a lot on his shoulders, right? And he's going to realize that you can't hold that much weight and like win a title. You're going to need to deflect. And Kobe Bryant was the same. Kobe averaged 35 and he was what, an 8th seed, I think, at the time? Like, you just can't do it on your own at the end of the day. And, that comes down to Luka, as well as it also comes down to the Dallas Mavericks franchise, Mark Cuban. Like, you're going to make some moves, put this team into place to kind of take the next step. At the moment, they're just stuck in that situation where, there might be one star player away from actually competing for a title, but they're also like, if it keeps going the way it is, they could be just fighting for the playoffs for the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, firstly, they need a Gasol. You're talking about Kobe in that era. They need a
100%.
Gasol
That's what I'm
complements
exactly saying.
Doncic. So,
yeah.
And another thing, the good thing for the Mavericks, he's only 22, Luka Doncic.
He is
the
very
guy's
young.
Played like 7 years of basketball already because of, EuroLeague as well. Wasn't he MVP at 16 or 17 there?
Something like that.
That's
It's crazy.
That's
like
not
Euro
normal.
basketball is like an elite level of basketball as well. It's a great level.
And the physicality of it. So that's not normal from this
That's why
guy.
he's like prepared when he came to the NBA season.
So he got a lot of years to get out of this guy.
Got a lot of years, but Dallas is in a good position where one big move could actually get him over the hump. It's the same thing for Lakers back in 2007. Like, you bring Gasol, it kind of gets you to the NBA Finals. And I think that's the same for the Mavericks. If they get one player during the season, could potentially take them to the Western Conference Finals,
True. Let's round off the West. Phoenix Suns made the finals last year, up 2-0, and then they ended up losing. Massive missed opportunity for them. Can they repeat what they did, or was that just like a one-off?
Look, they'll be a good team again this season. Whether they can repeat it, I mean, Chris Paul's aging again. Chris Paul was amazing last season, but in the finals, look, I can't really blame Chris Paul, man. He came up against some really good defenders. Like, came up against Drew Holiday, one of probably the best perimeter defenders in the league. To criticize him would be harsh, but he is 36, 37, and I just don't think they've added enough to take that next step. If you lose in the NBA Finals, it obviously means you're lacking something, right? And I don't think they've added enough pieces to kind of get them over the hump. They did add JaVale McGee, who's a good fit, good backup. I think that was something they lacked last season, but it's not that piece that's going to get you from losing 4-2 in the finals to winning it, especially for the teams that are coming back healthy this season.
I think the only thing for Phoenix is if Devin Booker goes to another level again, and DeAndre Ayton, who, man, I've got to give him so much credit.
Becomes goes from a great piece to
a potential
a star player, star piece.
Exactly.
Difference between a great piece, great fit to a star piece.
And you know what? He showed signs of that. The thing is just consistency. He's got to be consistent now.
Consistent, yeah. He was great, I think, throughout the whole playoffs. But then in the finals again, a lot of them weren't great for Phoenix, Again,
they're young. I don't want to blame them too much.
I'm not going to look at, you're right.
Denver, I think they were probably like one of the biggest disappointments, for all the talk and the potential that they displayed in the bubble. Everyone thinking, they're going to take the next step. Jokic was MVP.
I think it's harsh because they did have their second guy out.
They missed Jamal Murray.
It's harsh on that front. But again, they've paid Michael Porter Jr. $207. Look, on potential, he's worth it. Is he worth it right now? No. But again, you're a team like Denver. You're not going to attract superstar free agents, I guess. So
exactly.
Sometimes you have to take the gamble on those kind of players. We'll find out if he becomes worth it. But to also add to the Ben Simmons thing, there's been a lot of talk about Jamal Murray for Ben Simmons, which is, I don't know if it's a great fit for both teams. It's definitely a great fit for Philadelphia. Whether it's a great fit for Denver is a different story, but it is something to look out there for, I guess, throughout the season.
Thinking about that right now, Jokic doesn't seem like as arrogant or a prick like Embiid,
Oh, definitely not.
Character-wise, I love Embiid, but it does come across as a prick sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
But I think Jokic and Simmons could work together.
I think it could be like a really great fit.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, it's either going to be like a really great fit or it's just not going to work. That's how I see it. I don't think there's like an in-between. I think it either works amazingly or just really doesn't really work at all.
And look, if Jamal Murray shows what he showed in that bubble,
Yeah.
they'll be
See, I think
they'll
that's
be
a
tough.
trade that Denver would be more willing to take than Philadelphia, especially if Jamal Murray come back from an ACL. And I also think that's a trade Philadelphia should make. You get a guard that can shoot, that's willing to score. Like, I think it's a great fit for both teams. It can be a great fit potentially for Denver, but I think it's a better fit for Philadelphia.
Yeah, and Simmons can't complain because he's going to a playoff team. So
yeah, 100%. Going to a playoff team that's pretty much, again, one of those teams that could get over the hump if they really added the right pieces.
They're the threats. What we've mentioned so far, they're the threats. The one team that I can't understand, we just talked about it before, is Portland and Dame Lillard. Yeah, Dame Lillard is literally at the peak of his power right now. Yeah, age and where he's at in his career suggests he's gonna go a bit down from now on.
Yeah.
Now he probably won't because he is special. But when does he have enough of this? Because he's not going to win a title there at Portland. Like, when do they make a decision
how I
here?
was saying, like, if Dallas Mavericks were to add a piece, they'd get to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
With Portland, if they added another piece, I still don't think they'd even get out of the second round. Like,
no, they wouldn't.
One of those teams where I just don't think whatever they do is just not going to be enough. This season was the season to rebuild, trade Lillard, get the max value you can right now, and move on. Trade CJ McCollum, and just it's time to rebuild because you haven't built enough for it to happen this year. You've got too many kind of contracts on the book for it to happen next season. You don't have pieces to trade really to get a star player in return. Like, CJ McCollum's probably your best trade asset, but who is really available on the market for you to get that's going to, turn around your franchise? Where you're going to go for Ben Simmons and pair him up with Lillard? Is that really going to win you a title? It's not. Like,
no.
They're at a crossroads right now where they should have just moved on. But it's one of those things where, if you trade your best player, all of a sudden fans don't come in, right? Like, you're a tanking team. You're going to lose money regardless. So it's one of those kind of things where it's like, yeah, let's just hold on to him. And, this is a situation where loyalty is a detriment to some players.
Yeah, and I understand the point of view from Portland, like as an organization, but when does Damian Lillard have enough? When does he say, you know what, I know I love this town, I love the city, I love the franchise, but bro, I want to win. I'm not getting younger. He's very competitive. This guy's not going to accept losing for the rest of his career.
I think it's one of those things where he's spoken too much about loyalty that it's become like, do I ask for a trade or I'm going to get grilled by people if I go ask for a trade. But if he was to ask for a trade, can anyone say, you know what, he's being selfish asking for a trade? No, like he's given up there. He's given everything for Portland. If he was to ask for a trade, I'd be like, you know what, that's fair enough, man. I think he's earned the right to ask for a trade.
Yeah, 100%. He shouldn't care.
They haven't put enough around him.
All right, let's move on to the East. Before this whole Kyrie thing, we said it, this would have been very quick. Brooklyn Nets, that's it. They're going to be in the finals. They're the top team coming out. But the fact that he's not there and we don't know what the situation is there, it's an open race again for that spot in the finals from the East. Does Brooklyn still make it through?
I think Brooklyn would still have enough talent to make it through. And with buyouts throughout the season as well, you'd look up some names to join them in the buyout market. If I had a dark horse pick, it would be the Miami Heat. I think defensively they're going to bring it come playoff time. They're going to be one of those teams that are just like really hard to score on. You've added PJ Tucker, Kyle Lowry, like you've added some good veteran pieces already with Jimmy Butler, with Duncan Robinson, Bam, like Tyler Hero off the bench. Like that's a good team, man.
Yeah.
Another team that I'm very intrigued to watch is the Chicago Bulls. I'd love to see what they can do this season.
They're a fun team.
Man. I love Alex Caruso, man. What an addition, man. What an addition, bro.
The GOAT.
He's actually been killing it preseason. He's going to be a fan favorite, man. People used to like roast LA and be like, this guy, like you guys are just hyping up a bum, man. Trust me, when you see Alex Caruso, you understand why Lakers fans love him.
They're going to be such a fun team to watch.
Yeah, 100%.
They're going to be my most improved team, and we talk about that a bit later. But in terms of threats, Miami, they've got potential. I think they're going to be very gritty. They're going to be very hard to beat. Philadelphia, the situation, that takes them out of the race for me.
Yeah, for me it doesn't. I mean, you got the Bucks as well. But
look, the Bucks are going to be the same.
The Bucks are going to be there. They're going to be there, but
I think they had a really good run. They had a good, they had a
good run.
Yeah.
If Brooklyn has Kyrie and Harden, they're not winning, right?
No.
They weren't winning it last season if they had them, man. It took 7 games for the Bucks to beat them with a one-legged Harden and KD. Fully healthy, I just don't see it happening.
New York, they came fourth. It was really good to see them back in the playoffs. They'll be okay.
New York's success will depend on Kemba Walker kind of rejuvenating himself, I guess.
Look, bro, the one team that has to pull up because it's been too long, and we keep saying that they're coming up, they've built up, they're building, they're doing something special. It's Boston Celtics. They've moved on Brad Stevens to upper management. They've got a new coach. They have to make noise, man, because for me, enough's enough of Boston. The fact that Brooklyn, in their situation, without Kyrie, makes the spot up for grabs again.
It's just, what is Boston doing? That's the question. Like, what's their plan? Like, they've had so many trade opportunities for so many players over the years: Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Anthony Davis, and they've been hesitant to pull the trigger, which is okay, fair enough. If you're hesitant to pull the trigger, it means you trust your system, right? You trust the players coming through. I love Jason Tatum. I think he's amazing. I love Jaylen Brown. But the pieces around him, I don't like that much. And I like Marcus Smart. Yeah, he gives you that Patrick Beverley effect. Probably a better player. But for the last 2 years, for example, they've lacked size, man, and they haven't addressed it. They've re-signed, I think, Robert Williams, is it? He's a good player. He'll be a good fit. Look, I think they'll be good. They'll be dangerous. But again, they're going to be one of those teams that's like, yeah, if we had one more piece, we'd make it to the finals.
Who is that piece that they need? Who is it?
Man, that is a good question. Lillard comes to mind. Someone like that point guard.
Zion?
Unrealistic. You're going to have to get rid of Jaylen Brown, right, to get Zion.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal comes to mind. But again, it's one of those players you put Tatum, Bill, Jaylen Brown together if possible, or you'd have to give up Jaylen Brown. And do you do that? I love Jaylen Brown. I think he's a great fit, and he's my favorite player out of Boston, to be honest with you. It's just, what can you get in return for all those pieces? If they can add Siakam to what they have, I like that. I think Siakam's one of those complementary pieces that kind of, not a superstar, borderline all-star player. Like, if he's a good season, he's an all-star, but I don't think he's a consistent all-star player. But he's one of those pieces that will give you defense, give you a bit of shooting, bit of everything.
So for me, I feel like they struggle. Like, their superstar is Jason Tatum. And for some reason, in games I was watching last year, they kind of didn't let him like there was only glimpses of his greatness. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they didn't really give him the team to run with. They're trying to share the ball still. They're trying to do their whatever. Brad Stevens been doing the same shit for how long?
Brad Stevens has gotten a pass. One of those coaches has gotten a pass for too long, man.
I've never seen a coach get sacked and actually get a promotion. But anyway, that's another story. But a new coach there.
I thought they were going to sign Carlisle, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but again, is he a new generation coach? I feel like he's become that old.
It wouldn't
coach.
have been a good fit. I just thought that would have been the move Boston made. Look, I like the Schroeder move as well. I mean, Schroeder didn't really give himself many options, but that'll be a good piece off the bench for them, or starting, either one.
They've got, if I mispronounce it, I apologize. I'm Udoka. That's the new coach, San Antonio Spurs assistant. So obviously he's worked under Pop.
Worked under Pop.
Yeah. So I guess obviously he's knowledgeable. He's coming from a really good school of basketball.
Yeah, definitely.
And do you remember Jay Williams? Right. Finally, Celtics appoint their first black head coach. What's he on about? Because if you forget about Doc Rivers,
I think Doc Rivers is white.
Forget about Casey Jones in the 80s. What's wrong with this guy? And then he got hacked. Yeah, good one, bro. Yeah, good one.
You can get away with anything when you say you got hacked, man. You can say whatever you want on the internet, just say you got hacked.
Who the hell would hack ya? Who the hell would hack this guy to write something wrong like that? Like, what kind of a prank is that? Yeah, good one. Anyway.
Look, he got away with that.
But I feel like he's gonna come in. Obviously, he has to change it up. He has to say, like you said, they don't know what they're doing. The first thing you do is, bro, Tatum's your superstar. Let's build around him. Let's build a game plan around him.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you know what? You were right. They were at a bit of a crossroads there. Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown, for me, is a bit inconsistent, right? He'll give you flashes of Kobe, and the next day he'll give you flashes of Smush Parker. Like, Lord knows who, right? But he just lacks that consistency to be a superstar right now. Jason Tatum is definitely more consistent and the superstar player on that team. It's like, it's time to give him the keys to the franchise. And when they signed Hayward, you thought he'd be that guy that kind of give you 20, 25 a game and be that leader in the locker room. Didn't really work out, injuries, whatever. But I think now that they moved on from Hayward last season, now they've established that, hey, Tatum is the guy. We're building around him, and that's how they have to play it out.
Any other contenders you see in the East? It's a pretty weak conference. It's always been a weak conference.
It's always been weak. Same old.
Look, at the end of the day, if Brooklyn still end up with Durant and Harden, that's tough to beat. It's gonna be tough to beat regardless. Yeah. And come buyout time, they're gonna get the best players in the buyout market. Exactly. Them and the Lakers will probably get them. So yeah, regardless if Kyrie's in or not, I think Brooklyn's still gonna make the final. They should make the finals. All right, that's all the teams. That's all the favorites, the threats. Let's go quick fire. Most improved team for you this season, East or West, doesn't matter.
Chicago Bulls.
100%, I agree.
Have to be, right? If they're not, it's either they're the most improved team or the biggest underachievers. That's how I see it.
No, just the team they've built around Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine hasn't really achieved his potential, but now he's got really good pieces around him, really fun pieces around him. Yeah. So like what? Let's go for Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan,
Vucevic,
your boy Caruso. Like, it's a fun team, man.
It's a fun team. They're going to be good to watch. They still got Kobe White as well, who can spark it up off the bench. So they've got some good players.
100%. Most improved player this season.
Oh man, this is such a tough call, man.
Who's going to go to the next level? You want me to go first? I'll go first. Ja Morant.
You go first. Go.
I'll go Ja Morant.
You think Ja Morant?
Ja Morant's going to another level this season, bro. And I apologize. I should have mentioned them as one of the most improved teams. Memphis is going to be that under the radar threat in the West. The problem is if they were in the East, they'd be a bigger threat. But the fact that in the West it's tough. But I think Ja Morant, he's going to explode. Knock on wood, he stays healthy. I
was going to say Trae Young's going to explode this year.
You reckon?
I think they've been under the radar a bit, man. Like, we haven't spoken about him much, like the Atlanta Hawks, but I think he's gonna have a massive season. Like, I think he'll have another massive season.
Yeah, the thing with Trae Young is that he made the Eastern Conference Finals, so he's overachieved already. He has to reach that again, or it's a failure in a lot of people's eyes, even in his eyes, because he's got high standards for himself. So,
if I could throw a name, I'd throw Anthony Edwards. Not necessarily most improved, but I think he'll have a massive season.
Yeah,
I think like points wise, he'll probably average over 20.
He certainly improved. He improved over the season.
He'll definitely. I'm not going to give him the most improved trophy, but I think he'll be in that kind of conversation, I guess.
Let's get to the last two big questions. Who's your MVP for the season?
Going with Luka Doncic this season. I think he'll average a near triple-double, if not a triple-double this season. I think Dallas will finish about third or fourth in the West. And if he has a good start to this season, which he didn't last season, I think he'll win MVP. Because he's going to have the stats for an MVP. They'll give him the story, and he'll definitely be up there.
For me, it's Jason Tatum. He's going to have a Kobe-esque season. He's going to have when he got robbed by Nash that year, that trophy, I think it was 05, 06. He's got a new coach. I think he's bright enough to realize this guy's a superstar, and he's just going to go to another level this season.
My dark horse MVP, not necessarily a dark horse, but Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis, he has to be the guy that has the biggest season for the Lakers in terms of he has to average the most points, rebounds, etc. He's going to be the guy that has to average 30 for them because LeBron's not averaging 30 this season. Westbrook hasn't averaged close to 30 for a few seasons now. This team, as much as people love to say LeBron, this team is really Anthony Davis's team right now. Even last season, I said it, it's based on his production, man.
They live and die by him because when he's not there, like we saw in the playoffs, they struggle.
This team is Anthony Davis, man. For the last two seasons, even in the playoff run when we won the championship, he was amazing, man. Mid-range defense,
buzzer beaters,
nothing he didn't give you. Yeah, LeBron James is LeBron James. You know what we're getting, but Anthony Davis is so slept on, man. So I think if he has a massive season, I think he could potentially win MVP.
You know, it's funny. That's the first time we've mentioned LeBron in this podcast. Man,
yeah, that's good.
We'd be sacked by ESPN right now or Fox Sports. Dark horse MVP. Who am I thinking of? I want to say Dame Lillard, but he's not going to get there because his team is shit.
I don't even think they're making the playoffs, man.
Yeah. Potentially.
Look, it's not a dark horse, but if Brooklyn's playing without Kyrie, or you obviously need Harden and KD to produce a bit more, so they could be in for a shout. One of them.
They'll definitely be in the shout. The reason why I say Tatum as well is because they probably got a better chance of finishing top seed, than someone in the West. If you want to mention Doncic or whatever.
What about Paul George?
Paul George.
Dark horse. Well, Kawhi's not going to be out. He's not going to be playing for a little bit.
That's true. He'll put up big numbers. Whether they win is another story for me with the Clippers. I was thinking, why did we not talk about the Clippers the whole time? Yeah, Kawhi's not even playing. So
Kawhi's not even playing, and their team's pretty much the same team at the moment. So they're going to be tough to beat. That's what I mean. They're a well-built team. So
100%. All right, last one. This is it. Who's winning the title at the end of the day? Who will be the champion at the end of the season?
All right. I'm answering this. Both teams fully healthy. I mean, when I say both teams, you know who I'm mentioning.
Yep.
Brooklyn Nets fully healthy. However, as of right now, if right now Kyrie's not playing, so I'm taking this as if Kyrie's not playing for the whole season. So then it's the Lakers as my pick. But if everyone's healthy, for me, it's Brooklyn for sure.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna go Lakers, healthy or unhealthy. I think the Lakers.
Think they'll beat them?
I think they'll beat them in a 7-game series. I know Brooklyn's talented. I know they've got good pieces around them that complement that big three. But The Lakers, I feel like they're on a mission. This is it. This is the last hurrah for
Look,
LeBron.
For Westbrook, this is
Yeah,
Westbrook's reputation this
this
season.
is it.
Like,
Yeah,
if you can't do it on this team, then you can't do it anymore. Like,
do whatever.
you're not that guy anymore.
Yeah,
For
I just
LeBron,
don't
yeah,
see.
probably.
I just don't see them from next year being not a threat, but not being like a top contender because a lot of players are growing up. A lot of teams are growing up.
You're gonna have LeBron at 38 next year, so I don't know how he's still doing it. It's crazy that he puts up the numbers that he does.
The way they've built their team, they've got a lot of young guys as well in that team that are going to carry the load for the season. Like you said, they're probably going to aim for that third position.
At the end of the day, LeBron's legacy is built in stone. It's done, right?
Yeah.
Regardless if he wins or he doesn't, like, it's done. For someone like Russell Westbrook, this is his legacy. You know, like, at the end of the day, people have said you can't be that second guy. You can't be a championship winning point guard. He's got a lot of hate in the past. He says he's made it, right? Of course he's made it. Like, the guy's a millionaire, whatever you want to call it. He's gotten out of a difficult situation as a kid, whatever, and he's made it to the NBA. However, in terms of your NBA legacy, this is what us fans talk about, right? Your NBA legacy. We get it. You've made it in life, man. Trust me. We wish we were you, man, in life. But
yeah,
as an NBA fan, this is kind of your NBA legacy right now this season.
Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt in LeBron's mind, 6 is on his mind. You know, matching Jordan.
100%. If he wants to get 6, he has to win it this year.
That's it. And what would he be in titles? 6 and what?
Pretty sure he's lost 4 finals or 5. He's lost 2 to Golden State.
No, 3. 15, 17, 18.
2 to the Spurs and 1 to Dallas. 6 finals losses.
So it'll be even 6 and 6.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Bro, if he does go 6 and 6, in the grand scheme of things, man, the guy's probably played 20 seasons and made the finals 12 times. That stat alone is just ridiculous, right?
Unmatched.
If he does do that, that's crazy. But you know, there's a long way to go, I guess, for that.
All right, that's it. Well, that's the 2021 NBA preview. Thanks for joining us. We'll be around during the season.
We'll do it soon again.
No doubt. Maybe live games as well. Catch that live stream.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously here in Australia, it suits us, you know, on the weekend. So
definitely.
Yeah, man. Amadi, thanks, bro. Appreciate you joining us.
Anytime, bro. I'll catch you soon.
Yep. Everybody take care. Enjoy the start of the season. Yo.